But in saying that, you still need to make sure that you're being responsible and you're doing everything you need to do in order to reunite with your children, right?
Right.
We don't want to leave that out. We don't want to leave out that you as a birth parent, you have to be responsible. If you're hanging around the wrong crowd and it was a result of you getting your kids removed, you have to address that. If you was involved in the domestic violence relationship, you have to make sure that it's being addressed. Whatever brought your case into child welfare, we need for you to make sure that you're being responsible and that you are addressing those issues before the kids be returned back home.
Amen.
Somebody should have clapped right there.
Amen.
So I wanted to say that. So thank you. And for those, the administrators and foster parents and everyone that's here that may be new or you may be here the second time or third time, welcome and thank you for coming again. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for listening to the information that we can get out, and then we can make sure that other councils get the information. I'm excited about what we're doing. So one of the main things I want to talk about in our council in Cook, one of the things that's been coming up lately is because we've had a lot of return home for the last fiscal year. And one of the things that we notice is that when you're involved in this system and you have lost your children and you are going through a process of reuniting with your children, parenting as you knew it is different now. So that's why I wanted to title this Parenting Under a New Normal Condition. Meaning that if you're in outpatient, if you're in treatment, parenting now is different. It's gonna be different. You're gonna be different. As a matter of fact, when your children return home, they're gonna be different. And so you need to know that. And so that's why I wanted to just say a few words about parenting under a new normal condition. Your normal was to do things the way you did it. But now that you're involved in child welfare, things are being done different. You need to think different. You need to present yourself different. You need to speak different. You need to learn a lot more about literature and information now. You have to be more involved now as parents. There's no more just sliding it. You have to be more involved. And Kristen is going to come in and talk about the cyber piece about that. That's going to be different too. Children are on social media now and things like that. So she's going to address that. And I'm so excited to be co-facilitating with her. So I won't be long, but there's a couple of slides that I put together for you guys. And I want you guys to just see these. So number one. So it's a new situation. It's different. If you're in outpatient, if you're in substance abuse treatment, if you're seeing a therapist, everything is going to be different now. You're learning how to adapt under new, different conditions, right? And so it's going to be different. And so you need to know that. You're not going to be parenting your kids the same way, because once you do get your kids home, there's still going to be a window where you're going to be still looked at. Everyone is still going to look at it and wondering, are you doing what you need to do? And the reason being is because there have been some children's return home and came back into child welfare. Right? And so you need to know that it's going to be different. You're going to have to learn how to adapt different with this new, different environment. And then next I want to talk about some things that you may look at concerning your children's that you don't agree with, or you don't think they should be behaving like that. It's normal. Because some of them, they still mad at you, whether it was your fault or not. So they're going to come home with some resentment, some sadness, some guilt. They're going to come home different. And you have to be willing, or you have to be able to understand their point of view as it relates to them not being around you for a while. Okay, so that's going to happen. And then the next one I have, they may act out. They may act out. Because now they back in an environment with you, and they don't know how to act again. And so they're learning how to react as well. Whether they're 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4, it's going to be different. All right, it's going to be different. And then the next one, they may miss somebody that's been taking care of them for a while. Foster parent. They may have been in the home with the other children. Now you got the kids back and they're out there away from the other children. It's going to be normal for them to miss some other people. Why? It's well, those people have been taking care of them for 3 months, 4 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And so it's going to be different. And then the next one is in the process of all that, learn how to forgive yourself. Because with all of the shame and the guilt, the embarrassment, we can beat ourselves up as birth parents. I should have been here, I should have done that. And then if you get the right kid, they'll remind you of that too. Well, yeah, Mama, I remember when you left me here and you didn't come get me for 5 years. Because everybody is overwhelmed with some new things that's taking place. So as parents, I need you to understand that. As you go into this process of regaining custody or reuniting with your children, it's going to be different. If you have visitations with your children, it's going to be different. You're being looked at, you're being monitored. And you should want to do it different. Because you don't want your children to be back into child welfare, all right? I think I got a couple more. Being a family again. All of these young men here is my sons. Other than this one here, that's my nephew, but I raised all of them. All of them boys was in child welfare. And this picture was taken last month at my son's wedding. He got married. One of my second sons got married, and we was at a wedding, and all of them boys are adult men with kids. My goal is to never for their children to enter into child welfare. Yeah. So you have to become a family again. You have to learn how to do family different. Mm-hmm. You have to learn how to do family different. It's not the norm no more. With social media, phones, it's not the same. And for those of y'all that may have your phones, can you just hashtag PWP 2019 for your social media platform? Since we're using them already. That's just to say that we are involved and we continue to stay involved in the social media present. Hashtag PWP 2019. So get to know your children. Get to understand their hurt, their resentment, their bitterness. My boys is in their 30s. They're in their 20, I think one is maybe 20, 28. He's the youngest, he's about 28. But I just want to impress with everyone here, it's a different day now. Probably some different policies and procedures are going to be different now. There's a lot of things that's taking place. As birth parents, we are in a good position to really try to make some changes as it relates to prevention. Mm-hmm. So keep in mind, the position that you're in now, you really can make a great difference. But remember, you have to do what needs to be done in order for you to reunite with your children. If you just started parenting class, good. If you just started anger management, great. If you're in treatment or you're doing outpatient treatment, great. If you're having visitations, great. If your visitation have increased, awesome. And so you have to continue to do what you need to do in order for your family to continue to reunite and make things happen for you and your families. All right. Wearing a badge proudly as a birth parent, it can be challenging. But it's no challenging than anybody else that wear a badge. Police department, fire department, anybody that wears a badge, it can be challenging. Life can be challenging for anyone that wears a badge. And so when we wear the badge of parenting, we have to understand that it is there's some credibility that goes along with it. Ms. Jordan. Being involved, staying involved, being determined to make sure that our voice is heard. Hey, look, no one is going to speak up for me. Right. AJ, parents don't speak for me. As a birth parent, I speak for myself. And so if we're not careful, we would begin to let other medias and other outlets speak for us. That's why you have to be matured enough, you have to grow enough, you have to get healed enough. I'm healed enough and healthy enough to be able to say I was wrong. Right. You have to get to that point, right? And then the next one, wearing the badge as a parent proudly, you can help someone else. You can help someone else who's in this process now. In finding your voice as a parent, it comes from the struggles and the difficult challenges that you have in child welfare. And the reason why it's challenging for some parents to begin to speak is because we feel inadequate or incompetent. Because everybody else has been speaking for you. Your attorney, your caseworker, your counselor in treatment, everybody's been speaking for you and speaking and been doing reports for you. You have to find your voice. And you have to begin to speak healthy and right with the right tone. Because you don't want to run nobody away, or you don't want nobody to think that you're attacking them. So there is a way for you to make sure that you have your voice as a birth parent. All right, you do have a voice. All right, next one. Staying focused. Let me speak to those parents who are you just get here, and you can easily be distracted. You have to remain focused on why you're here and the purpose of you regaining custody of your children. Stay focused. Don't get distracted. Sometimes issues happen, challenges happen, but you have to stay focused. For me, when I got my children back in the early 90s, I was in my 20s with 8 boys. There was no fatherhood programs. We didn't have partnering with parents. And so I had to figure it out. And so now we have protective factors. We have principles, and we have programs designed to help advocate for you and to help teach you. We have a mentor program. Different counties have different parent mentors or parent resource peoples to help you help you make sure that you are learning how to advocate for yourself and to speak for yourself. Things have changed. The department have done some great things. That book that Rod just went over, it was developed when someone mentioned about different birth parents or some birth parent wasn't involved. For me, it was like some birth parents was involved wherever they was at. We had input. A lot of new policies and procedures, we had input on that. When they talked about fix the kin, when they were developing the process of fix the kin, I sat at the table with some administrators and help develop material and help our voice as parents get louder. Hey, because you know what? Because if our voice go down, they're not going to hear us. Right. They're not going to hear us. Amen. And so we have to continue to keep our voice alive, just as well as the youth voice is being alive. We have to make sure that we stand involved and that our voice counts. I got 2 more slides and I'm done. I'm going to have Christine come up. So for the past year, this is the second year, Ramona and I have started a free workshop in Chicago, Illinois. It's called Going the Distance to Win. And this time we titled it, what is it? A Dead End and Detours. And so it's in the month of June. And it's on my mind now. Let me stop and say Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers. All right, Happy Mother's Day. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day. But we have a workshop that's gonna be taking place. It's for birth parents by birth parents. And so I'm so excited that this is our second year. It's free. We lead it and we help birth parents and other professionals understand what's the connection, how to engage with birth parents. All right, and so this is the second year that we're doing a workshop. I do have some with me, some flyers with me, but if you don't get a flyer, you can go to the website, which is doingfamily.org. Bless you, bless you. All right. So if you guys remember last year, I talked about having a website. I talked about having a website for birth parents to be able to come to and talk about some things and address some things that concerns them. This year here, I'm presenting you Doing Family Support Service website. And so, and the goal is to make sure that parents have an outlet where they can talk about some things. Now Ramona and I, we monitor the comments. So we ain't gonna just let you just put anything out there. Because our character image is at stake, all right? But this is a website where you can go to and you can talk about certain things. We have parent perspective. We talk about different things as it relates to parents and issues like that. So it's doingfamily.org, all right? All right? So other than that, I am done. I'm gonna let Kristen come up and she's gonna talk about cyber, the issue that we have with cyber communication with our children, all right? So, all right, thank you.